Okay, so now it's your turn. You're gonna make your color poem. It's like a color sensory poem. So take your rainbow, pick the best color, or the color that you had the most ideas for, and you can edit directly on the slide, or you can do it by hand if you'd like on a piece of paper. You could use some pencil crayons and markers and put everything in that color if you like. Or you could even draw, if you decide to do it on paper, you could draw things that are that color. So if I were to do this on a piece of paper at home, maybe because I chose green, I would draw some leaves in the background and some trees, but you don't have to do that. I'm not expecting you to do that, but if you'd like to, then you can do that. Otherwise, I'd like you to use as many describing words as you can. Do your best to really paint a picture for the reader and be as detailed as you possibly can. Remember, with poetry, there is absolutely no rules, so do whatever you like. Just enjoy the process.
Allow me please to demonstrate, clarify, and illustrate rightly this acrostic mystery. On the left of this you'll find something that should blow your mind, truly typifying and hopefully insinuating what it's meant to be, concealed so to show you what it means.
So now I'm going to teach you some tips for writing a good acrostic poem. Okay, so our first step to writing a good acrostic poem is to choose a word, okay? So I am going to choose the word spring because it is spring now and I can't wait for the weather to finally get good. So I'm going to write spring and I'm going to write it vertically, which means up and down. Spring. Okay. So I did step 1. I chose what word I'm going to do. Step 2 was to write the word vertically. Okay, spring. So I'm going to use my skills that I practiced in my sensory poem. So I'm going to think about all of my senses, and when I think of the word spring, what do my senses feel, okay? So when I think of the word spring, I think of sunshine, okay? So I'm going to write sunshine. Now you don't have to write a sentence. It could be just one word if you like, but I want to be a little bit descriptive. So I'm going to say sunshine lasting longer because now the sun stays out later in the evening and I love that about spring. So I'm going to write sunshine lasting longer. Okay. And then for P, let me see. When I think of spring, I'm visualizing in my head, closing my eyes and thinking, and what I see are puddles. Okay, so P, puddles. Puddles. Okay, so I'm just going to write one word for that one. Okay, so closing my eyes again, thinking about spring. What do I see? What do I feel? What do I hear? What do I taste? Okay, so R. What could I write for R? I know in spring it rains a lot, and I love rainbows. So I'm going to write rainbows. And I could just write rainbows, but I'm going to be more specific. Rainbows after rainstorms. Closing my eyes again and visualizing spring, connecting with my senses. What does spring taste like? What does spring smell like? What does spring feel like? What does spring look like? How does it make me feel? So when I think of spring, I think of ice melting. The snow is drifting away, the ice is melting. Now let's think of N. I'm closing my eyes again, I'm visualizing. I think of no more cold, okay? I'm gonna write a sentence. So in the spring, I think no more cold weather, I'm gonna write. And then G, let's think of something that starts with G that describes the spring. I think of green grass. And I think of green grass sprouting, coming up. Ooh. So this is my acrostic poem. I have spring, and that's the title of my acrostic poem. Spring, sunshine lasting longer, puddles, rainbows after rainstorms, ice melting, no more cold weather, green grass sprouting. So the steps to writing an acrostic poem are really first choose a word that you're going to write about, and that's also going to double as the title of your poem, okay? Next, you're going to write that word vertically, which means from top to bottom like this. Third of all, you're going to close your eyes, you're going to get in touch with your senses, and you're going to visualize that word and think about how it makes you feel, how it might smell, how it might taste, what sounds you might hear, all of your senses, and connect with it, okay? And then you're going to look at each letter that is in your word and try to think of what you thought about when you were thinking of your senses and how you can make that a word or a phrase or a sentence in your acrostic poem. And finally, the last step is to just write something for each of the letters, and you're writing them horizontally like this. I like to see the word in one color and then the sentence in another color, just so you can clearly see what the title is and what the poem is about, and then each sentence that connects to the poem. So like I did, dark pink and then a light pink. So for your assignment of the day, grade 2s, I would like you to choose your favorite animal to write about, okay? So you're going to choose your favorite animal, write the name of the animal on your piece of paper. So you're going to do this by hand on paper at home. So write the name of the animal and then brainstorm and try to come up with a word or a phrase or a sentence that starts with each letter in that word, okay? So I look forward to reading all of your acrostic poems. If you want to make them more visual too, you could draw a picture of your animal, or you could make your writing fancy writing for the actual name of your animal, okay? That's up to you. Remember, there are no rules in poetry. Just do you, okay? And have a good rest of the day.